Hi, it's Corinne Douglas from the Sewing Works, and today I want to talk to you about the cool technique of using Vanish extra thread in your embroidery projects, which is a water-soluble thread that's going to allow you to have some really cool effects when you go ahead and wash that out. So this applies to your Bloomin' Flowers project if you're joining us for that, and it works in the pumpkin block and also in month 6 when you're finishing up with some of these little filler blocks. So I'm going to show you on this little block how to deactivate or activate, I guess, the Vanish thread, which I've used to embroider this fringe. So you can see it's nice and flat right now. And if I flip this over, the only thread that is the water soluble is the thread that's in the bottom for that fringe. So I'm going to take you over to our washout station and show you how to get that fringe loose. So I have my embroidered block here, and then I have this bowl of warm water that I've just filled up from the tap. And it really does help to have this water warm instead of cold to dissolve that bobbin thread. So if you prefer, you may run this under your sink. I didn't think that that was necessary, but so I just got a little bowl of it, and I'm just going to dunk, and I do want to see that kind of puddle up on top, and I want to get that really wet, and I might even massage it just a hair. I'm not going to try to loosen the fringe right away. I'm going to let it kind of work in a little bit. Now, however, I tried this and I let it sit, and I found that it was too difficult to remove or to loosen the fringe once this was dry again. So I really feel that it's an active process while it's wet. So my tool of choice to loosen your fringe is a seam ripper. If you're nervous about using the seam ripper and accidentally cutting your fringe, you may choose instead to use a small screwdriver. Basically what you're using it for is just to slip under those stitches and then pull that fringe loose. And you can see that bobbin thread has dissolved away, or is in the process of dissolving away. And if you have a little bit of a tough spot, you can give it a little pull, or you can get it more wet. The water helps, definitely helps. So we're just going to come around, pulling my little fringes up. Same technique with the cattails. I just think this is a really fun extra dimension to that project. Looks like I might need a little more water in that one spot. And does the inside kind of fringe up a little bit? Okay, it looks like it's going to fringe all the way to the center if I pull that. So I am actually going to leave that as it was because I like just the fringe on the outside. You can, if you want to, before you fringe this, take your machine and just straight stitch around that center medallion to keep those threads from wanting to pop up when you dissolve your bobbin thread. So you can see how fun and dimensional that becomes once you use that water dissolvable thread. That Vanish Extra, really cool product. So I'm going to let this block dry, and if you're worried about shrinkage, I would recommend that you set it on a piece of cardboard and pin it to size. You always want to do this technique before you trim your blocks down. So this block is 6 by 8 and it will trim down farther than that. So if there's any draw in, I won't have my block be too small after I've just soaked it with warm water. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this little lesson on Vanish thread. See you next time.